We're discussing Pluto in Capricorn cycles, as I had mentioned, in the age of Pisces. I told you there are about 9 of them. We only understand Pluto in Capricorn, which we're in now, if we actually look back during the age of Pisces, each time, 240-year cycles, what happened. Let's do this really quick. In the years of the Roman Empire, 42 to 61, Christianity spread through Club Med, the Mediterranean. 240 years later, that's from 290 to 306, Diocletian and Constantine in Byzantium are taking it out. A next cycle later, 530 to 550, the bishops of Rome, Istanbul and Alexandria, same situation. The next times come 4 times crusades, 4 times. In 780, Charlemagne unites Central Europe. In the phase 1024 to 1041, we see crusades going into Afghanistan and against Iraq. And in 1270 to 1290, more or less, that's right at the end of the 13th century, that's the high moment of the Templars, they start their last crusade. And guess what? In Mongolia and China, we have the Yuan dynasty and Kublai Khan, who introduces Buddhism as the teaching, the philosophy to apply. And now we're coming to Machiavelli again, 1520. Machiavelli and Loyola, by the way, the founder of the Jesuits, lived at the same time. We don't know if they actually met in person, but they did a similar transformation of thinking in political and in philosophy, political philosophy as well as, let's say, spiritual teachings. And at the same time also 1520, because we now have a situation on the other side of the Atlantic, we have Cortes and Pizarro who ruin basically 2 kingdoms, the Incas and the Aztecs. And the Turks meanwhile attack Vienna. All that in that Pluto cycle. And then the last one that we had before the one we're in now is 1770, Russia-Turkey war, where Russia really becomes the guarantor of the Christian sanctuary in Club Med. The whole Mediterranean was rearranged between the Turks and the Russians to guarantee stability in this area. And at the same time, as you know, we discussed, the USA gets founded. So these were moments of Pluto in Capricorn, and now you know what it means. I don't have to explain it anymore. In 2020, we're at this point again, and what do we see now going on? Syria, Iran, US, China, Russia and the EU. So the question is, what would then happen? The biggest parapolitical piece of wisdom comes from Machiavelli. Here's what he said. It sums up his entire work. There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. This is what Pluto in Capricorn is about. He nailed it. It's about introducing a new order of things. This can be new political order, new order of rules of laws, of new democracies, new spiritual teachings. It then leads, as you see in these historic listings, to the change of the political order. So from this point on, I was then asked, for instance, and we'll discuss it in our next segment, someone has asked me about the John Tito timeline. Do you think there will be US elections in 2020? Which will be November 2020, which will be after the big alignment, and the big alignment will produce a situation. So we can look into this future that is very close by and analyze what can potentially happen in the next 2 to 3 years, which I say is really the critical point the planet is moving through.